So every single team member of ours understands the power of a winning mindset. And the way that we reply to each other, okay, is win. Win equals yes. But if you go and ask anyone who has actually won at any magnitude, they're going to say pain.
Correct.
Torture. Just brutal.
Yep.
Because the journey to that victory is just simply brutal.
They really have the ability to figure that out.
Correct.
And they're using leadership or management or so on and so forth as a crutch. Flat out winning in that circumstance is almost when winning feels good.
You might love to turn this off, but I don't know if they like it or not. Okay, then we have
Matt Weaver, the #1 mortgage originator in the United States for most loans closed in 2023 and #1 in the state of Florida from 2020 to present, has spent over 27 years mastering the purchase market, earning more than 16 #1 titles across his career. Max Fisch, 2024's #1 originator in the United States under 30 and #2 in the state of Florida, achieved those titles within just 5 years of entering the mortgage industry, compressing decades of growth into a few extraordinary years. Collectively, they've helped more than 40,000 families purchase their first home. Now partners and looking to improve the industry on a national scale, Matt and Max share their winning formula, team structure, and systems with originators who want to scale from elite to extraordinary levels.
Matt, good to be back.
Oh, always a pleasure, Mr. Max.
So today I'm really excited about what we're going to talk about.
Yes.
Because we as a team talk about winning a lot.
Yes.
Even on this podcast, we've talked about winning more times than we can count.
Yes.
But what's exciting is, and I know that we have a little bit of fun with it, we have almost developed 3 different phrases that we live by as it pertains to winning.
Correct.
And so I'm excited to share that with the audience today. Do you want to jump into what those 3 are?
Well, the 3 terms that we use often is just win, flat out winning, and roll winning. And now, as silly as that sounds probably to the audience that's listening today, there's a lot of merit behind it. First and foremost, the word win, we have infused into our team culture for many years. In fact, it's something that we embody as a team, ranging from whether you're a rainmaker on our team to an advisor over to working in the lab, all the way through to processing, underwriting, and funding. So every single team member of ours understands the power of a winning mindset. And the way that we reply to each other, okay, is win. Win equals yes, okay, in our culture, as you know. All right. So that's one phrase. That's the 4th one I probably didn't mention, but that's one of the phrases. That's just a common yes for us. That's a standard, we'll say. Correct. And then we have just win. So, for example, if a team member is asking, should I do this? Should I do that? And we say, just win, just figure it out and win.
Yep.
Whatever it is, convert it to a win. Okay. So just win. It's a powerful one that we've embodied. Probably starting, 2000, in the beginning of 2025, we incorporated that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I dissect that one for a second? Because just win is interesting to me, because what it's doing is it's in essence saying, okay, just win, just figure it out and win. But really it's encouraging you to use problem solving skills and to think.
Yes.
Because when most people will come and ask a question, well, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of times a question is coming from a team member or somebody of the like, and they ask something or what do I do? They really have the ability to figure that out.
Correct.
And they're using leadership or management or so on and so forth as a crutch, okay, or in replacement of thinking and figuring it out. So the reason I like just win is it's a short phrase to encourage team members or other people in your day-to-day activity to simply just use that part of their brain that's used for problem solving,
right,
and figure it out. But don't just figure it out, but figure it out in a winning way.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's really important.
And it's a good point that you bring up. We call it also, stop transferring thinking.
Yes.
Okay. Because also watch. So my mentor, Mike Ferry, was mentored by Earl Nightingale. And Mike would share with me that Earl Nightingale would have a thinking man statue on his desk. You know, the thinking man statue in France. Okay. And when a team member or a staff member would walk into Earl Nightingale's office asking him a question, because, you know, Mike worked for Earl for, I think, 5 or 6 years, I want to say, in Chicago. But when a team member would come in and ask Earl a question, he would point to the thinking statue, which signaled to the team member, go out of my office, think, and if you can't come up with the solution, then come back. And Mike would share that Earl would share that 9 times of 10, they'd never return.
Yeah.
So just win does also
It's the same
equal
thing.
just think.
It's funny you say that because I remember specifically there was a moment where I came to you with a question.
Yes.
Or a problem or whatever it was. And you said just win. And at the time, I remember walking out and I'm thinking to myself, well, why didn't he just like answer that? Like, that's annoying. Like, I just want to get this figured out. Right. But I remember moving, you know, going into my office and thinking through and saying, okay, well, I think I can figure out a solution here and putting things into place and problem solving and winning throughout, you know, in that situation. And I realized, it clicked in my head, you were just encouraging me to think.
Yes.
It was like him pointing at that thinking statue, which was, it's a real life example of how I felt. So now moving forward, if there's something that's going on, it's almost training yourself to sit, think, figure out a solution, problem solve, and just win.
Yeah. You may want to keep it to the team structure. You may not want to try that at home. It doesn't go over too well. That I can tell you. It's, the other phrase that we talk about is flat out winning. Flat out winning. So flat out winning is when we're doing what we're supposed to be doing on a daily basis, which, you know, we run a tight ship, a tight schedule. And if we're following the tight schedule that we're supposed to be following, okay, that means we're winning all throughout the day, which is just flat out winning. Well, let's give another example. Okay, so recently you and I just came back from Los Angeles. Okay, you know, Mike had his production retreat. 1,600 agents in the room. And of course, we were part of the show. It was an honor for me to be on stage with Mike and try to add as much value as I could to the audience.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a win for the day. But that didn't equate to flat out winning. What equated to flat out winning is, I think you can agree, that we then both had multiple meetings and a dinner also with multiple great producers. Okay, that are going to be utilizing our services. So if we take on stage, great. If we take all the meetings that we stacked up, that is flat out winning. And so that day, and those 2 days, I should say, that we were at that great event, we were flat out winning, weren't we?
Absolutely. I think flat out winning, and I think our team gets annoyed by me because on a daily basis, I walk into their office just to check and make sure they're flat out winning. And so I think they get annoyed by me because I constantly do that. But here's the interesting part, and here's how I see it. Flat out winning in that circumstance is almost when winning feels good.
Right.
Right. It's when winning feels, you have momentum, things are rolling the right way. And, you know, I always use sports analogies. It's when you're hitting 3-pointers and you continue to hit them because you feel like you're in a rhythm. The hoop looks like it's, you know, giant and everything's just going in. That's like flat out winning. It's in flat out winning. So when you're making your calls and people are responding well and you're setting appointments and your transactions are going smooth and people are, you know, super happy with your process and so on and so forth, you're just in this like state of just flat out winning. I don't know any other way to get here and keep a straight face. I don't know any other way to describe it. You're just flat out winning. It's a feeling. It's like an embodiment. Yes. So I know it's funny to you, but I really feel that way. So, which I think we're flat out winning a lot.
This podcast is flat. You might love to turn this off, but I don't know if they like it or not. Okay, then we have
Lastly,
Raw winning.
raw winning.
Raw winning is something totally different. And I'll never forget when you asked me, you literally asked me, Matt, what is raw winning?
Yeah.
And the best way to describe raw winning is the time. Okay, well, let's go back to LA.
Mhm.
So LA, we were there for a few days. We were flat out winning the whole time. Okay, and we flew back and we landed at about 7:30 at night.
Mhm.
Now, you left your car in front of my house. Okay. And so when we flew back, of course, we're in southern Florida, South Florida, I should say. All right. And so your car was in front of my house. So, of course, our driver took us back to my house. Now, you had a seminar the next day in Orlando. So you had to be there, okay, because your seminar started early. You had, 75 agents, that were going to be in attendance.
Yeah.
Okay, so we flew in, 5 or 6 hour flight from LA, okay, drove back to my house, 8 p.m. at night. I go in for dinner. You hop in your car. You drive your car to Orlando, okay, so a 3-hour drive. So you got the 6-hour flight, the 3-hour drive into Orlando. You get to Orlando probably, 11:30, 12 o'clock. You check in, okay, you go to sleep. You wake up the next day. You see, you driving to Orlando is raw winning.
1,000%. To make it even more raw, I had Subway that night at 10 p.m. because there was nowhere else to eat. And that is just completely.
It's raw.
So I actually, raw winning is actually one of my favorite ones because first off, let's just talk about the word raw for a second.
Yeah.
So we mentioned to our audience that I do this weird thing where I say names backwards.
Yes.
And I say things backwards.
Yes.
So when I look at the word raw, I said, okay, raw backwards is war. It's war. And what's crazy about that is it kind of aligns with Tim Grover when he talks about some of the greats and how they describe winning.
Yes.
They describe winning completely opposite of what most people would describe.
Totally polar opposite.
Yeah. What did he say that most people would describe it?
Well, most people are going to talk about winning as glorious party, celebration, no better feeling. But if you go and ask anyone who has actually won at any magnitude, they're going to say pain,
Correct.
torture, just brutal.
Yep.
Because the journey to that victory is just simply brutal.
Yep.
But the addiction is so high to the win that, of course, they go through the pain.
So raw backwards being war actually makes sense because the way that we look at raw winning, as you described, is a stripped down version of winning up to the process of getting to the mountaintop.
Yep.
And when we talk about raw winning, in my opinion, it's a mindset because I looked at it and I remember I said to you, you're laughing because you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I said to you that raw winning for most people would be considered losing.
Correct.
Like, oh, I got to drive to Orlando at 8:30 at night and I gotta go and I'm not going to get there until 11:30.
I have to be honest, eating at Subway is losing.
Raw winning to me is that it's what a lot of people would consider losing. But the reason why I say it's a mindset is because if you have the mindset that you're winning in what you're doing, then those activities and those things that you have to do, even though they don't feel good, like flat out winning does,
Right.
even though it doesn't feel good, you still understand that you're doing it for a greater purpose. So that's why you're looking at something that is typically a negative.
Yes.
And you're training your mind to understand that it's a positive.
And that is so critically important, what you're touching on right there, which I hope everyone can understand that. Okay. You're right. Our definition of raw winning is we're still winning. We're doing what we're supposed to do because that's what we've conditioned ourselves to do and what we consider normal. Okay. So you flying in, getting in a car, and this is just one micro example. We're raw winning virtually every day because if we shared stories, a lot of people would say, my gosh, I don't know if I'd want that type of lifestyle.
Correct.
For us, okay, when you add the word win in there, it's acceptable for us to do it because we're still winning. It's raw.
Yeah.
Okay. It's brutal. It's the process of doing extraordinary things. So it's a great way of putting it. And I hope for those that are listening can understand that because this is the process. This is kind of what it looks like under the hood. Would you agree?
1,000%. And I would encourage originators to view their practice this way, to view it as we want to create a winning culture, okay, and create a winning mindset. And how do we do that? Well, we don't look at winning and losing. We look at flat out and raw.
That's right. That's right.
Those are the only two options.
Yeah.
And we have that saying when we say win here, we typically respond, well, it's the only option.
It's the only option.
It's the only option. So one of those two options.
Correct.
That's how we have to gear our mind.
No question. So I guess my final message to the listeners is just win.
Just win. Love it. Thanks, Matt.